All right, guys, welcome into episode 27 of Coffee and Chel. I am Sleeves, joined by my co-host, as always, Keso, for a special live edition of Coffee and Chel, as I am in the middle of a subathon, as I have been streaming for 58 hours in a row. And obviously, the show must go on, so we have to record this one. It will be live, but I expect every single person who watched this live to download and comment and give the video a like. So, nonetheless, Keso, as always, how have you been and what's new?
Dude, we were talking about it a little prior. Somebody was a dick to me at work last week.
Lay it on me.
Hence, I'm wearing this like dad hat here, right? So I was having a bad day, and my wife wanted to cheer me up. It was an early birthday present, so that was great. But so a lot of people know like I work in finance, and it's like financial planning and analysis. I work for like a tech place, so we work hand in hand with these like project managers, and we all kind of work for like the technical staff, right? These are the people working on like cybersecurity things or whatever. And my wife was sick on a Thursday, right? So like I called off, but like I didn't have an out of office. We were in the ER for like from like 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. She's okay now, but like didn't respond to anything that following day. Worried about her. So I get in on Friday, and this guy sends me a message on Teams, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna need some more responsiveness from you." If da. And I was like so pissed off because nobody's ever talked to me like that at work. I've never had like a customer facing like job really ever in my life. And after that, I was like, "Hey, I find that unprofessional." And then he sends me a message back, proceeding to give me like the dictionary version of like what like responsive means. And after that, like I had to step away and just walk away. And like the whole weekend, it happened on a Friday. It was like a week ago, the whole weekend, and we're like laying in bed or something. We're watching TV. I'm just sitting there. What the fuck's wrong with that guy? What's wrong with that guy? Like I'm just pissed off. Like oh my god. And I finally got over it. But hence the hat. I needed cheered up. Wife got me a dad hat, so we're good now.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're doing better now.
Yeah.
At work, was it like dealt with internally, like, or was it just like,
And it was like pushed to the side. I have a meeting with the guy actually tomorrow that he's in, and I might just bring it up. Like, I found it rude, but like hopefully we can move past it. Um, it's one of those things where it's like I have to deal with with this person, just because how our jobs work. So we'll see what happens. He's been rude to people in the past, so I think it's just a personality thing.
check him, personality check, I
Yeah,
respect it.
I mean, yeah. What about you, dude? The subathon's going great.
It is going well. There are a lot, too many generous people in the community that want to see me just push the boundaries of my mental capacity. But yeah, I've been streaming for 58 hours. I've slept twice. First night I only got like 3 hours of sleep. It is very weird knowing that people are watching you sleep. But I feel like people aren't watching me sleep because I play a video of like my past stream, and then it's like a small little cutout of me passed out. And to be honest, it's mostly just my cat now. My wife's cat, because my wife is upstairs, and obviously I have to be on stream, so she's not going to be. So Summer is like sleeping with her and has taken over my spot. So our cats are terrified of Summer. So they both sleep downstairs, and he just sleeps either on my head or like right in front of the camera, which I kind of think is funny. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, like that's how it's going. Yesterday, because I only got 3 hours of sleep, so it's like I went like 48 hours on 3 hours of sleep essentially, or 38 hours. And I just passed out, like I was gassed. I fell asleep at like 3 or 2:30 a.m. last night, and I slept like 6 hours, like till like 9:30, which I thought was pretty nice. Made it through most of the night, so I was much more awake and whatnot today. This is the second subathon I've ever done. Last one lasted 74 hours. That one was like capped. This one, there is no cap on it. If people want to see me keep streaming and they keep subbing to my channel and gifting subs and bits and all that, the timer keeps going up as we speak right now, going to the podcast. There's 33 more hours to go, and I'm in hour 59. So Tuesday is when it will end. I have a feeling that it might get down to like an hour, and then maybe there's some villains in the community that want to get a good chuckle, and they add 10 more hours on. But no, it's been really fun. I have been just grinding MLB.
And you're still having fun with it after dozens of hours.
I haven't even scratched the surface of it. So
Yeah.
let's just talk about. I have been making videos also too, like so that's been kind of fun. Part of the subathon, like before I forget, I've been making editing, having to record and edit videos. Some of the videos I've been sending to my editor, Tyler. Hello, Tyler in chat. And the other ones I've been editing live, and I like that process because we always talk a lot about how like I said that I want to write a book about like how to become a content. That's like
Yeah.
and then. So like I like instructing people and showing people how like the process of like what editing a video looks like and all that stuff entails because I feel like a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that goes into being a full-time creator or even not being a full-time creator because you do the same thing. So that's been fun and I forgot where I was going with this because I've been
Oh,
streaming for
dude.
59 hours.
Shout out to Tyler, by the way. So Tantalizing that edits my videos. Tyler referred to him for a I forget what like minor league baseball league it is, but for a job, it's like a tech director job for like, and it's like remote. But Tyler referred the position to him. Nathan used my YouTube channel in his resume, and he got the job. So congrats
Oh,
to Nathan, dude. Tyler's like the nicest guy ever.
he
So
is very
thanks,
nice.
Tyler. I already thanked you before, but thank you again for looking out.
Excellent. That's actually
Yeah.
cool. Tantalizer was in my chat earlier, and I'm kind of surprised I didn't bring that up. But all right, that's good to hear. That's good news. That
Yeah.
makes me feel nice.
Dude, I'm
But
creating jobs. You know that? That's what I'm doing here. I
you
am
are
more efficient than the government. Okay.
all right. So MLB. Um, okay, you know how we talk about how NHL 22 is like the worst game of NHL, and then
Yeah.
we have to mention it. So the reason why it's very difficult to rate sport games because obviously the latest game will have things in it that improve upon the prior games overall. So like power up icons and powering up X Factor cards is an improvement over like not having that and just having like you know what I mean like that's cool having power up cards that is an improvement to the game, things like that. MLB 21 to 22, there's so little actually new in the game, and it's staggering that 21 was such a good game that I think that it's easily the best sports game ever made in the Ultimate Team era.
Okay.
I don't want to say ever because like outside of Diamond Dynasty, it's awful still. It's barren.
It's just the best ultimate team that's ever been
it
made.
is such a good ultimate team mode, and it goes to show what happens when you put all of your resources into an ultimate team mode. What can come out of that because that's what's happened. So there just isn't very much different about 21, and it's a lot of just small quality of life things that you wouldn't know if you didn't play the prior year. And there are some
Mhm.
pretty decent ones. But overall, it's not a lot of huge change. The servers, which is always MLB's worst thing, and I'm saying like the servers are so bad, they are way worse than NHL, which I feel like is a big statement because everyone complains about the day to day use of the servers, and like if the servers go down once for like NHL, it's 500 tweets, 40
Yeah.
Reddit threads, and it happens like a total server going down for EA. How frequent do you think that is? Like,
It,
if you had
it
to
doesn't
guess,
happen often because we always like see whenever it happens. Usually it's
the
like 1
world
o'clock
stops.
during like Hut Champs, right? And then
Yeah,
it's like, what? They didn't give us a heads up.
yeah,
What's wrong with them? These people should be fired. You know.
yeah. So like, I would say it happens in the totality of a game 4 times in a year.
You know what? Outside of patches,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe max of four
yeah. Like
times,
where it
right?
goes down, there's an error. Like MLB 21 guys, it introduced cross platform, so there was an expectation to it. But it was like they would lose like half a day where you couldn't get into Diamond Dynasty, and it was
Yeah.
regular, like occurrence. And so I've played like probably 40 hours of MLB now since launch of the game during my subathon, and probably more than that. I've watched a lot of Cart Narcs, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I've probably played about 50 hours, no, 40 hours of MLB, and I've literally only got knocked off the server 3 times, and I could load immediately right back in. There was no waiting.
Yep.
So it's been really improved. Now, the one issue is that obviously this is the pre-order time. They're about to get probably 1 to 2 million more people all at once. And it's funny because like thinking of this from, I was talking about this on stream, thinking of this from like a business standpoint, it's very difficult if you're like, again, you're running a business. I don't know what the cost of a server would be. I would assume it's probably about 1 million.
Dude, I have no idea.
Yeah, like
What's even
I'm
the
gonna
frame of
say a
reference for
million,
that?
regardless of
For
what. It's not
like,
cheap
yeah.
to get a substantial improvement to how a game would work. It's got to be difficult to like justify buying an extra server or four so that the launch is smooth, because you know no matter what that it will after the launch of the game it will go down, and you won't need anywhere near that volume.
Yeah, not only that, it's like, what if you just buy too many, right?
Yeah.
It probably costs such a crazy amount of money, and I doubt that there's like a refund. I don't know how the
Yeah,
server
exactly.
purchasing
I have
works.
no idea, but like
Yeah.
from a consumer, it sucks. But like I can see why, because it's like clearly the one issue. I don't know if they've addressed it yet, because again, the full launch hasn't happened, and it's gonna flood on Monday. So we'll have to wait and see. It's an incredible game. I'm really excited. Some of the changes they made, man, could be viewed as like an L. So, for example, there was something called Team Affinity that happens multiple times throughout the year. I think there was 3, maybe 4 last year. And what it was every team got like a 90 overall diamond card,
Yeah.
and you could earn it by playing the game. It was very simple. It's a little time consuming to get all of them, but very easy. And what happened though was after 2 weeks, everyone just had a full lineup of Team Affinity cards, because there's 30 of them. There's a lot. What they've done now is you can only get 12, and it takes a long time to get them. You have to
Okay.
buy the rest. There is 30 in the featured program, right? But it does take a long time to actually get them. I like that change in the sense that base cards or live cards are more valuable, and they keep your value in terms of your lineup more. Because you're actually going to have them in your lineup much longer, because you can't earn infinite amount of these cards. So I do like that change, but it could be viewed as an L. But yeah, man, there is so much to do. The amount of guaranteed rewards. I played offline. I played basically Risk, where you take over this map.
Yeah, Conquest Mode. I played that a little bit. Isn't it called Conquest
Yeah,
Mode?
Conquest Mode.
Yeah, so that's like the only mode I've played so far.
Yeah, so it's a great place to
Yeah.
learn. It's where I think if you have never played MLB, this is where you need to go, because you have to play 30 games to take over the map, and you could just mess around, right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing, and because like I enjoy the mini game aspect of it. It's kind of fun. And it got to the point where like I was trying to take over like my first opponent's like fan base. I don't know what it's referred to as, and I couldn't even beat the computer on veteran. Just need to play more. I didn't get to play too much just because we got exciting hut champs.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited to play some more after GWC. I'll probably play sparingly here and there during the week.
It's really really fun, and I really think that what's crazy is that when you play and you complete the first conquest, right, you get a free 88 overall diamond card that's really good. You get a Mike Piazza. Like that's
Yeah.
what just like irks me so much, because there is none of that in NHL. You can play squad battles and somehow max out and not get like top 10 because it's random, and you can pull nothing, and it's just
Yep.
like wow 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 wow. Wow. Also, another cool thing. So that they have these things called daily moments where you can log in and it gives you a moment. It'll be like, Mookie Betts hit a home run against, whoever on May 28th, 2018. Go and do that. And it like if you don't hit it, you can just reset and it goes back right
Yeah,
immediately.
dude, I enjoyed that actually. That was one of the few things I did in the game with who's the cover athlete? I know no
Shohei
player
Ohtani.
names. He has like a moment or something,
Yep.
right, where you pitch with him in his like first game maybe.
Yep.
And I like that I go into it, I messed up, and I can just restart immediately.
The
And
reason
it's only pitching too. I don't have to do all the boring, like I don't have to hit with random people.
Dude, it's wild. But the reason why I brought that up though is you get 1,000 XP towards the program, right, and some stubs and things like that for just completing that. Right, it takes a second, and it's actually somewhat enjoyable. Like if you actually read the blurb, it's real life. It's something that happened. Man, so someone came into my stream. It's like, oh man, it's 3:45. I better go and let's go check out the new NHL Daily. I was like, oh, block 3 shots and score on the power play for 250 coins. 250 coins times 365 days is 91,000 coins if you did every single one. Like, it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's just sad.
And like that's what makes me sad as a creator, is there's so much stuff to do. And even just as a consumer of the game, I don't know what NHL could do to even somewhat combat MLB and what they're able to perform. Because like, dude, the parallel system, you're starting to see that. Have you seen that now, like in action?
I haven't played enough. I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen the little dashboard they have for it in the player card.
Yeah.
But like I said, I barely scratched like not even the surface. I'm like outside.
Let me
waiting to
Let me
knock
ask
on
you
the
this.
door.
Then. Let me ask you this.
What?
What have you been doing to get ready for GWC?
Somebody just mentioned it in chat as we're streaming live. I played Pens in 2 best-of-3s today, dude. And let me tell you, before I even played him, he was my favorite going into the bracket for PS5.
Okay.
And so the first series, I lost both game. First game was in OT. Second game was like a 2-goal game, and then the second series, won the first game, lost the last two. Lost the last game in overtime because I got dunked twice because I just passed it out twice because I think I was bored. So why he's my favorite going in the GWC? He doesn't pass the puck. He dumps it in every time, or he takes a slap shot from center ice and the goalie freezes it. So he doesn't leave any room in his game to deal with the terrible passing that we have in NHL 22.
He's just completely
So
avoiding it?
he avoids passing altogether.
You're saying
And
dump
it
and
makes
chase works?
dump and chase, dude. He's so good at dump and chase because he dumps it in the corner and then it bounces like at an angle that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'm not like a mathematician, but I know geometry, right? Like it's basic science, and it's like bounces the other way, and like my guy can't pick it up, but he plays great. But then we were texting afterwards, and he was like, we were just saying like the game was bad and stuff, complaining because I lost. Um, and he was like, he said that he likes NHL 22 more than 21 because at least it's realistic. And he mentioned like fourth line hockey. And dude, I texted him, I hate you after he said that because I'm like, wouldn't you rather the game be realistic in the sense that it mimics like skilled, like McDavid, right? Like I would want to play like McDavid in the game and not like Jay Beagle. And dude, he's the smartest player, Pens, because he uses the game for what it is. So he's my favorite going in the GWC. I'm just gonna keep scrimming people like him, Saphir, Miso. I'm confident because I think other people are worried because the game's so random. So I just have this stupid arrogance going into next week. So I think I'm gonna win.
That a boy. I'll
Yeah,
say this.
yeah.
I said this last night. We get into like deep talks at night, like 3 in the morning now during the subathon. It's funny because like I have said that I hate this gameplay, but I understand that it's like the most like sim based that we've had, and I can appreciate people that enjoy that. But I think as a video game, like I think that we've gotten to a point now where like instead of everyone being mad, some people are happy and some people are mad.
Yeah.
But the people that are mad are like mad. So I can appreciate some people liking that, but yeah, I agree. I miss the like the one-on-one deking and that kind of stuff. But again, that's just me. Like I understand that there's people that disagree with that and they do like just like being able to dump. I didn't realize you could dump it in, man. Like I didn't realize he
Dude,
was
he's
coming
really
up.
good at that. But you know what? That ties into what happened in like real life hockey. Was that last night or the night before with the Jay Beagle thing? Speaking of Jay
Oh
Beagle,
yeah.
dude, the Ducks like okay, so Ziegler scores a Michigan again. That was pretty cool. It looks cool, dude. And then it's 5-0, and Jay Beagle just attacks. Was it Troy Terry?
Yep.
Um, Punches him in the face, and then the announcers are like, "If you're gonna skill it up, like you should be ready to be punched in the face." Dude, there's a reason hockey is the fourth or fifth major sport in North America, right? Like basketball, you watch a game, LeBron James is going to score 30 every single night. Football, the ball's in the hands of the quarterback and the receivers. They make the rules so the skilled players do really well. Baseball, I don't watch baseball. Okay. Hockey, it's the only game where like the rules change in the playoffs. McDavid doesn't draw any penalties because he's too good, and they want the fourth liners that shouldn't even, they should be in the league. They're way better than I would ever be. But they just want the game to be like this like 1950s like Gordie Howe era like sport, and I just don't understand it. And now the video game's leaning that way too. If they want the game to sell more, if they want to market it better, why can't they promote skilled play in the league?
We had like I got to a heated debate. Now it makes a little bit more sense that this is actually coming up, or that you brought this up because Nathan, your editor, literally came in and I had a debate about this. So this is good that it comes up live on stream. So the Troy Terry thing, yeah, I don't think that there's any room for if you get absolutely dunked on, like like you get embarrassed, which is what the Michigan is, and it's happening so much that it's losing its allure.
Yeah, for
But it
sure
is
it is. I agree.
there is a reason why it hasn't been done. It's been done like 5 times, maybe like 8 in the NHL in total, and like 7 of them have come in the last like actually 8. They've all come in the last since Svechnikov did it, right?
Yeah.
There is a reason why it's only that doesn't happen because it's not a really traditional hockey play, and it should not be something that it's a how do I describe this? It is a I don't want to say showboat because I don't think because you're still trying to score a goal.
Yeah.
But if you do it, here is my argument. You can't go cross check a dude in the face because you gave up that goal, right? But you have to understand that in hockey, you have to atone for that. If you're gonna try that, because you're embarrassing your opponent. That is really what it is. Like Tomas Hertl, when he scored that fourth goal between his legs, he's not trying to just score. He's trying to put on a show, which for the fans, awesome to see, right? But there's 20 dudes on that bench that are like, hey man, you could have just, not done that and probably still scored. All right, we're going to have to handle you a little bit. Now, I don't think there should be any illegal body checks, hits to the head, that kind of stuff. But I'll be willing to bet that Zegers keeps doing this, and I'm sure he will because he scored it. Like, it works for him, right? I feel bad because now what's happened is he is going to try it, and there is going to be a defenseman or someone that does not play super tight on him and knows that on the opposite side of where he's skating, that there's a good possibility that he looks down to try and get that puck back up on a stick behind the net, and he is going to get a shoulder to the face and get completely run out. And again, that will probably be a clean hit. I don't think it'll be dirty, but it's going to happen. And I'm okay with that as well. You see what I'm saying? Is my point coming across?
I get your point. I totally get that, right? And I never played at any kind of level of hockey. Right?
I didn't play until I was 19. So we're just too.
So there's always those people. It's like, oh well, you didn't play, you don't understand. And I get that. But the thing is, it happened in 2005. Whenever they started calling penalties, right? There were those older, slower defensemen.
Yeah.
Like Darian Hatcher was still in the league that they couldn't hang around anymore. And I feel like the league's almost getting to that dead puck era again with just the amount of stuff that doesn't get called, right? Which is, I guess, going against or off track a little bit. But dude, if you're not skilled enough to hang in there, then you shouldn't be on the ice. I'm sorry. If he's doing a Michigan attempt or whatever and he's scoring and you let that goal up, why are you punching him in the face? It's your fault that you
I think it's always going to be tough because I think that hockey is such a different sport. It's so much more difficult to regulate than I think any other sport.
So it's not though because they don't call the penalties, right? They don't.
Well, it's subjective. That's the problem. There is subjectivity. In MLB, a strike is a strike.
Dude, I watched Mark Stahl, okay?
Yeah.
When he was on the Rangers, cross-check Crosby in the back of the neck and head 5 times and it wasn't called. Why wasn't it called? Because Crosby's so good. Why would we call penalties that favor the Penguins just because they're so much more skilled than the other defensemen that are out there that shouldn't be in the league? And that's how it's always been in hockey, and it's frustrating.
So if you were Crosby, all right, let's say you were in a game and Mark Stahl is doing that, and they're not calling any penalties, what would you recommend being done if you are the Pittsburgh Penguins?
If I am the Pittsburgh Penguins, there's something that they did try in 2012, 2013, and then also 2018, was bring in Ryan Reeves and stuff and those types of players, right? So what happens then? Okay, maybe the other team's a little bit more scared to do that, but then you have people on your fourth line that shouldn't be on the NHL ice, right? So 2015 and 16, I think 17, I forget what years the Penguins back-to-back, they had no enforcers, right? The Penguins were 4 skilled lines, probably the least physical team in the league. Yeah, maybe they got hit a little bit, but they won the cup back-to-back. I think that stuff needs to get out of hockey at some point. It's ruining the game for me, in my opinion. Watching it, whenever you see McDavid get hooked in whatever 5 times a game and there's no penalties called, what? I don't understand the NHL at all.
No, I think what this comes down to is like what you enjoy watching. I love an awesome goal, like watching McDavid, right? Super, and I love it. I enjoy that. I also love someone like Rob Blake. Like I love dudes that can hit. No, and I don't mean it's tough because what I'm trying to Douglas Murray. You've probably never heard of him.
Crankshaft.
Oh
No,
wait, yeah, Crankshaft. He went to Pittsburgh. I forgot. We fleeced him for a second round pick. Anyways, yeah.
Well, no, dude, you just asked about that, right? So you just asked what the Penguins they had.
Douglas Murray. That makes sense. That makes sense now. Yes. Okay, I forgot all about that trade. I find it as enjoyable to watch him as it is to watch as a viewer to watch that. And I think that when one overtakes the other, it's that's when you get into these debates. right? And I think that hockey at its best has both, which I think is why the playoffs are the best playoff. The first round of the playoffs, in my opinion, is the best round of any sport because they're as rejuvenated or they have as much energy as they're ever going to have in the playoffs, and they all feel like they have a shot. And, they've got a long road to go, and it's like simply we got to get through this team. Like Tampa and Florida last year was probably the best example of it. It was like Florida was not a better team at the time than Tampa, but it was like they were going to do every single thing possible. So when you get a lot of guys, there's very few guys that are as skilled as McDavid. There's no one, but as skilled as goal scorers. So then the guys that can't do that, they've got a roll, and it magnifies by like 50 because every time that a fourth line is on the ice, a good fourth line, like the boards rattle. Every single check is finished, and I think that is hockey like at its finest. I think what happened with Zegras and whatnot, if you get score, I wish I could pull this up because so everyone, if you're watching, so I have a Mason Howard jersey here. He is someone that came into my stream and watched me on Twitch, but he also happened to be a really fun defenseman for the Niagara Ice Dogs that I got to watch. And he's massive. He's 6'3", he's 230 pounds. He can't really skate, he can't really shoot, but he has some of the hardest hits you'll ever see in the OHL. And was so entertaining to watch. I was trying to find the clip, but it's the OHL and it's very hard to find. Someone actually scored the Michigan on the Ice Dogs, and Mason was the defenseman that was actually like there. Like it was his job to stop, but you're like, I don't play hockey and I can't, like, you don't see it very often, right? The Michigan gets off. He finally realizes what he's doing. The dude puts him in the net, and Mason put him on his ass into the boards. And I was like, and then he just skated away. There was no fight or scrum afterwards, and the kid was all jacked up that he scored, so it's not like he injured him or anything like that. Perfect response.
Dude, that sounds completely reasonable. I have no problem with these things if it's like clean, like inside the rule book.
He just tossed him like right into the boards, not dirty. He was literally looking at him, and as if to say, dude, I'm like, okay, you scored, but like, try it again. Kind of thing, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, I wish I could find the video because it's a perfect example of how stuff like this should be handled. Because I really do. I hate the Tortorella, the get that garbage out of hockey. Like, no, that's exciting and fun, and it's hilarious to see. Is it embarrassing? Yes, and it's not really a good hockey play. Like, it is not. You're basically trying to do things that you've been taught your whole life to not do when playing. You're looking at your skates. You're fumbling behind the net. Like, that's how you die in hockey. So,
dude, but these guys are so good at it now.
Now, they're insane at it.
They're like insane.
Yeah. Right. So, but I guarantee you, Zegras in the next couple years, there is going to be someone that the entire time that Zegras is on the ice, there's going to be a defenseman that is just like, I'm going to wait for him to try it because he's going to try it. And he's going to fumble it just for a half second, and the dude is going to absolutely crank him, and it'll be bad. I think that's just, and that's the response. Like, that's the alternate response, because now you have to pay attention for it, right? So it's a fun debate, and it's weird because I think, again, in terms of like hockey, I totally get like the exciting goals and stuff. I love huge hits.
And playoff hockey, like you mentioned, is exciting. I get it. There's like 3-2 games where it's like, but the only reason those happen is because like the referees are like, no matter what, we're gonna put our whistles away.
It's tough, man. Yeah, like,
let me just totally demolish this guy, and there's no call, and it's like, where's the middle ground?
Yeah, like exactly. Grizz just said, "Is this the video?" Oh, he found it. Dude, how did you find it? All right, I'm gonna throw it up. I'm gonna throw it up on your face here. So, again, this is the guy's jersey. This is for the Ice Dogs. This was the year right before COVID.
He'll chase it into the corner.
There's Mason right there. Watch what happens.
Now it's behind the net. They try driving and they score.
Like, perfect response. You'll see a better view of it in a second here.
And the Hounds love that. And it's a 6-1 hockey game.
Really
goes for the Michigan, and then bang, there it is. Like, it was already over. But he was just like, nah, you know what? And then look at, bang, like there. Wasn't dirty. It shouldn't have happened. Sure, like he probably shouldn't do that, but no penalty was called, and that's like a perfect response, in my opinion, to that. I think that was good. Yeah, you got me. That was embarrassing.
Fine with me because it was a clean hit. It was a good clean hit. It was a strong hit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that guy that scored the goal was more than happy to take that hit every.
He got up. He got up and just hugged because he realized that he scored it. But he was more than willing to just get crushed by him. So, yeah, all right. I mean, that was a good little debate. Off topic there. All right, so let's just mandatory rush right through the hot topics to say that we're a Chel podcast. EU Team of the Season came out. I have never been less interested in Team of the Season ever. I think it has a lot to do with the timing. Unfortunate, again, because of timing in the NHL. Because of the Olympic break, the season got pushed way back. Someone in chat just brought up the 160K choice pack. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Thank you for reminding me. So it pushed the season back, but they can't leave it to the end of the season, which would be the true team of the season, because then we're talking almost May, and the game is dead by then. So they can't even market their way around that, and no one's going to buy it. So they came out, it's still a little early, but I agreed with all of their selections, and I did a predictions video, and it was almost bang on. Let's talk about this choice pack thing. So I don't know if you noticed it, but right when they launched Team of the Season for this Friday and last Friday, there was an option: spend 160,000 coins and you get an untradeable choice pack, one of 3 of Team of the Year cards. There was only 1,000 of them. Agree, disagree? Do you like it? What are your thoughts?
They should probably increase it because it's whoever's online at 5 o'clock. Dude, I'd be pissed. What if I work? What if I don't get home till 5:30? What if I can't be on here? I don't know. Maybe it should just be you have the option 1 per account to open the pack, and that's it. Because they have packs like that, right? Where you can only open it once. I don't know why they don't do that.
It's wild to me. Because it's completely unfair to the people that can't get there to access that, especially with GWC going on. I opened one. I got 3 garbage cards, which is not shocking. But there's people that were able to do it 4 times because Team of the Season cards are extremely difficult and expensive to make, and you can't even make the ones you want.
No. It's just the better version of the choice pack you have to use collectibles for because it's cheaper.
And to make those packs, to make those choice packs, it costs you 26, and it ends up that's about 400K to make that pack. Yep. So it's just I don't know, man. It's just their methods this year have been just odd. It's the only way I can describe it. Nothing is nothing is consistent. Which and I like that they're keeping things on our toes and whatnot. But yeah, just I don't know. Their content choices have been really weird. And but yeah, did you pick up any Team of the Season cards for your GWC team?
I mean, I was online at 5 o'clock for that choice pack.
So you did. Wait a minute.
What? What's that?
So you're saying that what if I had to work? Meanwhile, you didn't work and you were at home, but you bought the pack.
I mean, it was 5 o'clock. I'm done at 4 on Fridays.
You made it sound like you couldn't. Okay.
Yeah. No. I was angry. I was channeling the anger of the people that couldn't open them. That's
Fair.
what I was doing.
Man of the people.
Man of the people. Yeah. Well. So no, I saw that there was the choice pack, but here's the thing: I had Hedman, Rantanen, and then who else was there? Ovi, right? So basically the 3 best ones besides Panarin, and
they gave it to Ovi.
Point. Yeah, so there was no point of me opening that choice pack because I can only get other ones that were worse. So I was I'm not even gonna because I don't want any of the other ones. So I mean, I have Hedman, Rantanen, and Ovi. Can we talk about Hedman for a second?
Let's do it.
So can we talk about the abilities they gave this Hedman? And it was first off, he has 3 skating synergy slots, right?
You sure do. Okay. He's 99. He's 98 and 97, I think.
98 and 97, right? So you're using him, and then I was oh, he has gold 1T. Why?
Yeah,
he has 99 slap shot power and accuracy. Yeah. So he has gold 1T. He has silver truculence, which is really good. And then he has that silver no contest, which I actually activate for him because it's a good ability whenever you're because the puck pickups in this game aren't that great in my opinion. So that's 1 point to activate. Best card in the game, and you can't convince me otherwise.
100%. No, and if you have the Team of the Year version, you actually get it for free, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you get both of them back, right? So you can decide on which abilities do I want to use.
And I think it's okay. We're at late enough in the year for that kind of card to come out. Mm-hmm. It's just you're just saying that card's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 99 Hunt now, where every card's almost 99, and it's kind of boring because there isn't that much disparity between
What
them.
do you?
But
Yo,
what's that?
here's a side note I just realized again. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but I'm gonna forget about this. When, it's funny to me because whenever we ever, I don't know if I can say this. Whatever. I'll get
Say
fired.
it. Who cares?
Yeah. What
do
am I
we have
gonna?
to
What are they
lose?
gonna do? Kick me out? Yeah.
I'll stop streaming tomorrow, and I'll give away all of this. What do we have here?
So we've brought up that like, hey, you know, hut progression is kind of, you know, it's improved definitely after having these conversations with like devs and
Yeah.
whatnot. And one of the responses is always, you know, we don't design the game to play with 99. It's just how it is. And you just but the feeling of it is like you guys just have to accept that, which is I think is kind of shit. So what would you do to make hut somewhat resemble launch hut with the progression of an ultimate team? And is there ever a way to do that? Because I feel like it's such a lazy answer.
I mean, the only way to do that's with the salary cap mode. MLB has BR mode, which are using like silvers and bronzes or whatever. That'd be fun too. Only ways with the salary cap mode. Somebody said, sorry, I'm bringing this up.
That shit.
Sleeve should gift a sub every time he interrupts Keso. He would be poor in a minute. Yeah, dude. I mean, the only way is a salary cap mode. You know, it's funny. One of the devs sent me a message on last night. This is kind of like on topic and off topic. And last week we were talking, and I mentioned something about disagreeing with one of the devs, and it was just like reaching out to me, dude. We're so negative, which is like obvious because how could you not be about certain things? At some point, I have to turn a new leaf, right? At some point, we just like maybe I do. It is what it is. But then again, if I just say it is what it is, where's our whole entire like show here, right?
Oh, brother, dude, NHL 22, I am that. I talk negative about the game, but it's like my hope has been sucked out.
Yeah,
Like,
that is true.
If you go through the Game Changer graveyard of like Bacon Country and guys like that and like the old era, like there's a clear like I've been a game changer for a long time. I've tried to give my improvements to the game doesn't, or they go a complete different direction, and you're just like, I'm exhausted. I don't care.
Yeah, and that's like we just have to accept that and move on, right? Like that's really what it is because like the developers are so limited. It is what it is. They're making the best decisions they can, you know, with like the limited resources. We can still provide our feedback. Like
I came out with a tweet. Did we talk about this? Oh, this is a great topic. Okay. I came up with a tweet because when I ask for people's opinions on, you know, is this a good idea, right? I do it with the knowledge of knowing what is actually realistically able to be done and ever implemented in Hockey Ultimate Team or NHL in general. So I don't know if we talked about it. You'll know. I tweeted out, hey, would you guys be okay, because there is no way they will ever find a way to make this work, if in-game every goaltender online is 6'3"? Their sprite, their play. Did we?
Now. Yeah, we did, and I
on the podcast?
Not on the podcast, actually. No, we just talked about this. Me and you talking.
Oh, go ahead. Give me your idea. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't have an. You were mentioning if no matter what you played online, and each goalie would in the gameplay itself be 6'3", right?
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer that. I mean, it would never happen. I would prefer that because you wouldn't. A 6-foot goalie is just going to be bad in the game.
He's not usable, right? And he never will be.
It's not usable. It's like 6'5" and up.
It's like,
and that's it. Now it's abilities based, right?
6'3" is okay with post to post and light work. I still think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would like that. It's not real. It doesn't resemble the real game at all, right? Like if just every goalie's the same.
But the reason why I suggested that is, one, there is no way they will find a way. This has been an issue since I feel like it was really magnified during Hockey Ultimate, because I remember back when I would play my friend, right? Like, you would pick a goalie because he had a high rating. I didn't really think about like he's like 6'6". Like I never did that. But like Hockey Ultimate Team is like how it would be done. Like so I tweeted that out with that idea because like they're never going to fix that. They are never going to come up with a way to make a 6 foot, like the real reason why I brought that up was Shesterkin. Like Shesterkin is like the best goaltender and probably will be now for like the next like generation, and you're never going to be able to use him in Hut.
No, because is he 6'1"?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Dude, okay, first off, why is he so good? I haven't watched them this year.
So like I've watched him a couple times because for some reason every time I go to bet on a game, it's just always with the Rangers involved. And if you look at like their analytics, he is dragging them. I know
Yes,
analytics.
He's like a Hart candidate, right? Like
Yeah.
he should win the Hart Trophy this year if it was like a legit award.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you remove in the sense of what the Hart Trophy should be, if you remove that, how I think on it is like if you remove that player from the team, is that team even anywhere in the same realm of the same? And like I think like Yossi with the Predators, and then Shesterkin, and then everyone always says McDavid, and that's true. It's a lot like LeBron though. It's like no one wants to give it to him because he's dominating. But if you removed McDavid from the Oilers, they would be bad. They'd be worse, obviously. But they still have Draisaitl.
Yeah, but I don't like how that award works. Like,
Same.
If you go by definition, no, I'm saying like if you go by the definition, it would always go to like a 7th or 8th seed that has like
Yes.
one amazing player.
I get that.
I get that.
Yes.
You know, but like realistically, Gretzky won how many Hart trophies in the 80s? They had a Hall of Fame team, one of the best teams ever. But he was still by far the best player, so he should have won it every year, which I think he did most years. But if you go by the definition of the award, you know, some 7th seed in the 80s, I don't know what, you know, Marcel Dion should have won it one year if he was playing. I don't know if he was the 70s or 80s.
I think that definitely impacts the Jack Adams. Like,
Well, that's in football too, because it's always like the coach of a team that was bad last year that is like a wild card team this year.
Yeah. Like if you're an exceptional, like if you're Cooper in Tampa, like you basically have to set the record for the most wins to win it. As opposed to someone who just like takes over as coach for a team that no one expected to win, which I get. I understand that. Like I just think that like that trophy specific, there's trophies for whoever scores the most points. That exists.
Yeah.
You know, like I just think like the way I think of MVP and like the Hart candidate is like, yeah, like if you look like again for Shesterkin because we got off topic there, like if you look at like their analytics, and again, I'm not super big on it, but if you don't watch the games, like I think that's a great indicator, or at least to give you some sort of sense of what's going on. Dude, it's astronomical. And whenever Georgiev is in net, he has like an over 3 goals against, and he's losing all the time. Like he's the majority of their losses. It's just wild to me, like what he's doing. And just, you know, F the Rangers fans who get Lundqvist for like 15 years and they go right into this. Like, it's just like where they're like, Philly fans have got to be just absolutely triggered that they can't find a goaltender in 40 years and the Rangers go from Lundqvist to just
the Flyers. I've been watching hockey for like 20. I'm turning 29 in a week. So I guess like 23 to 25 years. And I remember every single year, like one of the first years I started really watching, Brian Boucher had a really good like playoff run, and they had like Roman Czechmanik. And then after that, it's just like this mismatch of goalies that like they had Bobrovsky for a little bit, right? Too.
They ran him out of town.
That's it. Yeah. And he ended up being amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Bobrovsky's eliteness came in Columbus, not Philly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they gave up. Yeah, it was like it's like they just can't, that one position in that city. It just, even Czechmanik wasn't elite or a superstar. He was just above average. Like he was good. What you consider solid. But yeah, like it's wild. But like that again, guys, for everyone that's gonna listen to this and hit Reddit, I am never going to suggest to the devs that they should make every goaltender in game 6'3". I was just literally spitballing because I was giving an example of there is no way they'll ever fix this. There is no way that we will ever have a resolution for it, and it sucks. You should be able to use every player. They've done a great job with making smaller players actually have some use. Because in NHL 20,
it's improved.
In NHL 20, it was like, if you were under 6'3", not usable.
Yep.
And now it's like you had McKinnon on your team for a while, and like that
Taylor Hall, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like,
I agree.
Yeah, like they have done some improvements, but that aspect, I don't see any resolution that they could realistically do to big. So like I had an idea, like how many times have you looked at a goaltender when you're playing online, or even if you were offline, I guess, and just been like, oh, he's you take out the tape measure and it's like, oh, he's like, you know, half a foot above the bar, what, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't happen. So like, why not just make all of them act and play like they're 6'3"? But I'll probably get flamed. I get the realistic part. That sucks. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like that's excusable, but we're never going to get it. So like get a fix for it. So that's why I thought about it. And it actually wasn't that bad. It was like 60-40 split, which I was stunned
yeah.
about.
So like, I actually wouldn't mind that for like hot champions. I do think that like for if you play hot champs, like whatever the competitive mode, abilities should probably be off, and every goalie should be 6'3". That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
B-Wubs in chat, so let's talk about GWC matchups real quick. So we do have a lot of people that are competing in GWC that, we're friends with and whatnot. So for anyone that doesn't compete in GWC, the matchups came out for the bracket play. So what's going to happen is the matchups to determine who is going to represent each of the 32 teams on each console. There will be sorry, I'm looking at my chat. There will be a representative for each team on each console. So 4 total Washington Capitol representatives. The first round has been announced, so we know who is going to play. So Keso, who are you playing in round one?
Some guy named Mr. Felix that I think I might have played before.
All right, so that's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Because you said some
Junior
guy.
Penn said he was like solid. We'll see. I feel good about my game. Like I'm just gonna go in. Even if I get outplayed, Pekka's gonna make some big saves. It doesn't matter.
It's funny. Okay, so he is a hut hero. I've played him a bunch of times. He is very good. I would start the betting line at -400 for you.
Dude, here's the thing about it, dude. The same way, like I might be like going up against Gren, like I might lose. Like people are nervous to play me for some reason.
I think that yes.
So
like I think he would be someone who's nervous.
Yeah, so like my confidence is through the roof in these matchups.
Fair enough. Now we did get some interesting ones.
We
friend
did.
of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast. CJ142 is playing one of his best friends in the community, John Wayne. And so that is at worst the 50-50 series. I think people underrate CJ, really good player. Here's what I want to know. And CJ's actually, as we record this live in the chat, is CJ going to have the brewskis going during that? And I feel like there's like a 10% chance like he takes it easier. It's like, up and then he lets John slide by. I don't know.
So for backstory, we have to sell this. Because yes, it is two. First of all, they are 2 of my closest friends in the community as well. I've traveled to Alaska with CJ to visit John. Here's the thing: they have already played in GWC qualifiers twice. So
yes.
I'm gonna bring it back even further. The year that John Wayne beat Eki at LAN and came this close to winning the entire tournament before he lost to Top Shelf Cookie in Vegas, where me and CJ were and we watched. He tied a game in his qualifier with CJ with 0.3 seconds to go to force overtime before beating him and then going to the USA LAN qualifiers in Connecticut. So CJ has had a tortured history against John Wayne because then they played again. Same situation. It wasn't as dramatic as that, but it's like these two very close. CJ's going to John's wedding. And the 3% chance that they match up at this phase of the tournament and it's in round 1, I personally hate it because there's been some issues with the format. And a lot of it stems from the 4 consoles, and it's tough. That being said, when it comes to this event specifically, and Hut Champs, like any event that is tailored to find the best of the best, it needs to always reflect it at all stages. There can't be any hand-holding or rant. I wish there was a ranking that ranked the best players so they did not play until it was further on. And that might sound kind of crappy and like I'm grooving it and making it easier for harder players. I want to see this game played at the highest level because there are as someone who has a potentially broadcasting the event, and I've done it before last year in NHL 21 when I called the GWC Central Finals. There was a few people there, had their great moment in the sun, probably what you would consider a Mickey Mouse run, which would be when you can line up the difficulty of players, wasn't even close to some others, and they get on camera, and we've got to broadcast a 9-1 game because someone made it further than they should because of random matchups. And I get that. Like, it shouldn't always be the same people over and over again. But I just think that early on, that really sucks. This early. And I as the tournament keeps going, and I hope it keeps going, we see more improvements to the event. I think the 4 consoles this year really messed things up to a point that they're just trying to survive it. But yeah, our man John and CJ, that's going to be probably the best round 1 matchup. I know there's some other ones. I want to see chaos. So like, I'm okay with players that have, players that maybe you wouldn't consider making the top 8 or top 12 or sorry, top 16 in the tournament. I'm okay with that. If they beat someone really good, I want to see that.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different.
Somebody just getting like a cookie or cupcake, I guess.
Yeah,
What am
cupcake,
I
yeah.
saying here? Cupcake matchups to go to the finals. We don't want to see. We've seen those people in the final 8 in Connecticut before. We've seen them in Canada sometimes. It's not fun to watch those. Like, not at all. Dude, in the 4 console thing, I went and looked at like the top 8 last year. 5 of the top 8 players in GWC North America last year are on PS5. Only 2 of those people can go to the top 8 this year. So it's like, I don't know. It's going to be a rough year.
Yeah, it is going to be. It definitely feels like, and it's tough because this comes right after COVID, where the event in 2019 is still what I consider to be like the last GWC. Like, it's the last one, and that also because like it was a world, right? Like, you played, you know what I mean? The last few because of COVID, and again, that's completely out of their hands. I couldn't even believe they ran events with what was going on. So kudos to the NHL for that. Like, that's pretty incredible. But you get past that, and it's like lands could be a thing. You can finally get back to what made this tournament so good, and then it's like bang, EA's like, nah, we don't need cross console, we don't need any of that. And they have to include, they have to include all 4 consoles. I think that as a sports organization that is all about inclusivity, I think that I completely understand why it does kind of suck. In that sense that like, obviously you want to see the best players for the most part have the new consoles, but excluding people that don't, like, you can't do that this year.
I would have almost rather seen like 1 player from PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
And then like 3 from the other ones.
I mean,
I don't know.
What's crazy is that, you could play the PS4 and Xbox One version on PS5. I really thought there would be a point at which, we get to a point where they would have to match up before the LAN, where they would just play each other on the PS4 version. But, it's going to be crazy. There are going to be, dude, the way this game plays, oh man, there is going to be some fires.
I don't even know what to say. Listen, here's my question for you.
Yep.
I don't think the streams begin from the NHL until like later on in the tournament.
It's a very odd format, yes.
But you made I don't want to say you made a name for yourself in the community by doing this, but it was definitely exciting. You used to do the streams where you pull up at the watch parties for GWC. Are you going to be doing that this year?
Yeah, not in an official capacity, but I think with there are so many storylines because this community has just there is a lot of storylines. Like, and again, for the casual listener that you just play the game and you don't know about like the competitive scene of NHL, you don't care. I would say show up to those streams that I'll do on the qualifier. So April 9th and 10th, I will host a watch party, I think, unless I have something going on. I mean, God, at this rate, I might still be streaming, because I want to see chaos, man. I want to, like, I think Granted is in the chat. Like, there has never been a year I've been more confident that the field will make Montreal. Like, every single matchup, because of how this game is very poor in the difference in skill, because it is very reliant upon what happens in real hockey, and that's just bounces, reactions off of things that you aren't anticipating and maybe shouldn't happen, and super powered ability goaltenders. Like, you are gonna see some things where it is just people are like guys that you would consider real shots at winning GWC losing first round to guys you've never heard of.
It's gonna happen 100%. I'd put everything I own on it. Like you said, the field, like, if I had to take who would win GWC this year, Regs, Gren, Canadians, or Josh, I would take the field compared to those 4.
And it's funny because prior, like, I would have said Gren and Regs no matter what, because of just like how the game's played, because there was a pretty large skill gap. But there's
listen. While we're on the Regs topic, I just have to mention. So I played him in Champs this weekend.
Oh no.
And he demolished me, right? Like, dude, he's the only person. I said this to him. He's the only person where it feels like you're just playing a completely different game from. And he's the best player in the world. I will say that 100%. After we did that, I was like, all right, I have to switch something up. We played a peer-to-peer game, and if people haven't realized, peer-to-peer plays a little bit slower than the servers, but it slows it down for me, which is perfect, right? So I gave him the old razzle dazzle there. I won off some Headman Gold 1T. We won the game. And that's what started making me feel better about GWC. But Breg's best player in the world, I will say that. I don't know where I was going with that, but dude, the peer-to-peer stuff, okay, that's the randomness too because it's slower, and people aren't used to playing on that. And there's gonna be like, if he struggled against me like that after just demolishing me on the servers, like it can happen against anybody.
No, absolutely. And like it's only a best of 3. Each of these is a best of 3, right? A lot of people in chat, again, we're streaming this live. A lot of people are, hey, we didn't mention Polgs. I think Polgs right now, if you were, it's very difficult to get caught up in things. I have watched more NHL esports and covered more NHL esports, and I think anyone else, and I don't think that's an egotistical statement. I literally think I have watched more games than anyone else, and I haven't competed in 1 ounce of it, but I've seen it. Like, I think Polgs is definitely the most impressive player this year. Like, he is so good, but the GWC, I'm very prove it first before
that's
you
fair.
hand it out, because there's like, so not to take away, Polgs won a LAN, the first LAN in 2.5 years. I was actually there and I called it. I was stunned at that, because that when that happens, when you win your first tournament and when these guys win their first tournament, what you usually see is that they either make it to the finals or they win a lot more, because you play guys that just haven't done it before. And I think that like what he's done this year in a game that has very little skill gap among the top players, he has found a way to like get a little bit because of some of the stuff that he does. But we'll see when the lights are the absolute brightest. Because last year he disappointed in GWC, because he was still really good last year. Huh?
Who did he lose to?
This is gonna drive me nuts. Polks, if you're in here, who'd you lose to? It was early. It was early. It was Chikrin.
He was the Kings rep.
I think it was Chikrin.
Okay.
It was Chit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Chikrin. Yeah, it was Chikrin, who is a pretty good player. But if you would have put a betting line on that, that's like negative 250 probably for Polgs last year.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so it's and that last year there was more of a skill gap than now, and he did not qualify. Yeah, Chick didn't qualify this year. I think people have thrown that in there. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting, guys. If you have never followed the GWC, you don't know anything about the competitive scene, and you definitely want to see it. April 9th and 10th is when the first 2 rounds take off. We will be following Keso's stream. I definitely want to do that. We'll have a little watch party. Watch our man with the razzle dazzle. I'm assuming you're streaming all of your games, right?
Oh, dude, why wouldn't you?
Thank God. All right.
Right? Like, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last year, and just like I'll stream it, but I'm gonna minimize the window or turn off my monitor so I don't even feel the need to look at chat. Yeah, Pogues is gonna play from the hospital allegedly. I know that's a joke. He got his ankle surgery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's gonna be exciting. I'm definitely interested to see who goes further. Yeah, dude, people said a lot of use of the razzle dazzle comment after the Lazarus shootout tournament. I have to mention again, I don't want to see people using that. I have the copyright on razzle dazzle.
Oh, I thought it was like in term of endearment.
Oh, it is. It's it's like, oh, give him the razzle dazzle. You know, it means it's like push and pee.
Yeah.
I don't know what push and pee means.
Yeah, it sounds dumb.
But yeah, it sounds dumb. That's what razzle dazzle is.
I consider it like the little shimmy shake, like it just like little shoulder shake, little razzle dazzle.
Whatever. Yeah, little razzle dazzle.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. We're coming up late here. I do want to take some live listener questions. All right, but before that, I was watching. I'm just a TV show junkie, and I think it's because it's like we've talked about this before. Like mentally, TV is like such an escape that like you don't even remember half of the stuff you're watching because you just watch it so that it's on, and your brain can just not try and pay attention to what you've been trying to pay attention to for like your entire day. I've watched. I'm probably well over. Is 75 full TV series like a ridiculous number? Like
I I don't think it is. I really don't, because it's like you can knock one of those out in a weekend.
I don't know. I'm saying like a full TV
Oh,
series.
the full TV series. No, okay, so
Because
you
I was
probably
going to say
watch-
100.
Yeah, you probably watch like 5 to 10 TV series a year, right?
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
I
would
just
say
watched
the
Grey's
75 to
Anatomy, and
100.
that's 18 seasons, and I literally
Yeah,
watched
I'm actually
it
sickened
in
that
3
you
months.
watched that. Like, that makes no sense to me.
It
Like,
wasn't
it's
bad.
not-
It wasn't bad.
Dude,
I understand
one of my
why it's
best
been on.
friends watches it.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, dude, it wasn't like, television history. There's a few episodes that are in that show early on in, like, 2005, where I was like, like, okay. Like, that was pretty good. Okay. Where they, like,
Yeah,
they
that was
kill
when,
off.
Catherine Heigl was in the show.
Yeah,
right?
like, when they kill off main characters, and, like, you just don't see that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we're like, it was just like, oh, wow. All right. All right. So the reason why I want to bring this up is, so I've run out of the show. I'm in that awkward phase where, like, you feel like you broke up with someone and now you got to go find someone new. Like, when you end a series and you're on that Netflix thing and now it just says suggested as opposed to next episode. It's like my worst. It makes me feel the worst because now I got to spend the next 4 weeks trying to find, like, it's funny because, like, you could just click a random show and it'd probably be decent, but you refuse to do it. You just,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I need the perfect show, the absolute perfect show. When I've watched everything, there's going to be something new that I haven't seen before. All right. So, someone in the chat just said Animal Kingdom. Great show. Watched it 3 years ago. So I was like, all right, back to an Old Faithful because it was taking like 2 hours and I was like, I got to find something. Bro, one of the most annoying things, annoying isn't the right word because it's disgusting, but dude, Kevin Spacey took away.
Listen, I've been told 100 times in my life I bear a striking resemblance to Kevin Spacey. So keep going.
I mean, if he shaved, I mean, yeah, like I've never seen.
You've never seen me without the beard. Up until like 21, I never had a beard.
Yeah, like okay, yeah, okay, yeah. It's not,
fine.
yeah, okay, it's funny. So obviously he's a disgusting, weird human being. Like, but one of the best actors because when he is dude, it's wild. Like if you watch some of like Kaiser when he played Kaiser Sose, I don't remember the movie, but I remember his name.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah, that's like, dude, it's when you get an actor that plays a part perfectly, it's nuts. And when you get an actor that can do it multiple times, it's unbelievable. So I started watching House of Cards when its 2nd season was out. I found it on Netflix. I had just gotten with my wife. I remember watching it, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to pay attention to this because I hate politics. I really didn't like politics at the time. And it's very jargon heavy. Like, he's like the whip, which is like...
Dude, yeah, I was just about to say the word. I was like, I've never heard that. What is that?
Yeah, like I have no idea. Exactly,
Yeah.
I have no idea. And he's talking about Senate votes and all that. And like, I have no idea. So, like, the first 5 minutes of the show, I'm like, this is already not going to last. I don't know if there has... It is not one of my favorite shows. I asked you before this started to come up with some of your favorite shows. It is not one of my all-time best, but I don't know many that, because of the ending, which is why it's not one of the best. I don't know many shows that are that well written, directed, and cast where it all just meshed perfectly, because every episode is like this cliffhanger. It's the music is perfect. The dramatic scenes are insane. There's death and kill. Like, it blows me away, and I get so mad because he couldn't even, spoiler alert, he doesn't finish the show, so he's killed off. All right? Like,
Yeah.
You know what happened. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And it just, his wife in the show, the whole show is perfectly casted from the top to the bottom. It's not just him. And
Dude, you know what's crazy about the show? They had Marshala Ali, is that his name? That ended up being in Moonlight,
Yep.
And he's Blade now in like a minor role.
yeah, like, dude, it's, and he's he's a lawyer, extremely good actor. So, like, his wife becomes the main character of the show, and she plays this dark, like, it is so well written. It's just, like, the reason why it isn't one of the best of all time is because it ended early because Spacey's just a big weirdo. And it's a shame because, like, he literally took away a craft and something that the world, like, it's very rare to find someone that good at acting. And yeah, but I just started watching it again randomly, and I just forgot like how good House of. If you have never seen House of Cards, you need to watch it. And I promise you, if you don't care about politics, it won't matter. It is so good.
I watched it as it came out, and then it ended up getting worse as it went along. And then I think like the third or fourth season, like the first two I thought were like excellent, and then once he left the show, like
it's tough.
I was I didn't watch it.
They had to just finish it because it didn't end on like a thing, and the show was too big to do one of those like it's not getting renewed. You know, like they had to do like a final season. It was
their first, I think that and like Orange is the New Black.
Yep.
That was like the first two shows that like Netflix is like, okay, we're here, where our shows are as good as like HBO or whatever else.
Yeah, like it was just incredible. And all right, but so I asked you, give me a couple shows that you have to say. There's no order because I feel like saying what your favorite TV show is a lot like picking like what's your favorite band or song. Yeah. Like it's just literally impossible. It depends on the mood. But give me a few. I said give me three, not in any order. Your favorite shows that you've watched.
All right, so these are the three that were on my mind.
Okay.
And I was trying to go a little bit off the board because you can always say like, oh, Game of Thrones, The Wire, whatever, right?
So I'll have The Wire.
Yeah,
scratch that off. I'm just kidding. I actually wrote it down, but I'm not going to talk about it.
There's always good shows, right? So the first one I'll go is a comedy. And on the theme of canceled people, Louis C.K.'s show Louis on FX was pound for pound one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It was a sitcom on FX. Obviously after Bella's barking, Jesus. Obviously after he got
canceled.
Found for doing whatever he was doing.
Rightfully so, canceled. By the way.
Yeah, right. Like whatever. The show was canceled. The show is just so funny. It's like there's like episodes that are serious that might have like one joke in them. There's episodes that are just like so absurd that it's like, who thought of this idea, right? So there's that show. I'll go with Louis. I'm gonna go with The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime. It's about this stand-up comedian, female comedian. She is in like the 1950s, but the show is extremely well cast. Tony Shalhoub from Monk plays her dad.
Okay.
And I don't know if you meant to. Okay, there we have it. What was that face?
I was trying to zoom in because I was like, what the hell show is that? But my camera.
The Marvelous Mrs.
If you're not watching, hey, give me 1 second. Let me fix that zoom because I got to refresh my camera. My camera actually froze. Give me 1 second here. I tried it for comedic effect. Go with the close zoom in, but my camera was frozen. Like, there we go. All right, there we go. Back to that.
Okay, yeah, dude, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime. Dude, it's the best show there. It's the best show. Dude, now we're on a different thing. You are throwing me off here.
We're good.
I'm trying to fall. Okay, all right. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, 10 out of 10 show. And then the last one is another show on FX. I was trying to go off the board. You're the Worst. It's about this. It's like I guess like not even a rom-com, but it's about this couple that are just like mentally like poor mental health, like a toxic relationship. Mm-hmm. It follows them through 5 seasons. Dude. I'm sorry, I'm laughing now because Hayes came in the chat and he's like, look at Dumb and Dumber, and I'm just dying because we are idiots. Dude. So I have these 3 shows.
Okay. I think you're trying to take it. You're trying to say something that like it shows that no one would think of. Okay, don't think. Give me a show.
Dude, I mean this.
What pops in your head when you say best TV show? Don't think best TV show.
Season 1 through 6 of Game of Thrones.
Did you enjoy it that much?
Yeah, seasons 1 through 6, and then they ruined it.
Okay.
They ruined it.
Yeah, I agree. But
dude, I've watched too much TV. That's the thing. You know what? Best TV show of all time is The Sopranos.
Okay. Yes. All right. See, that comes to your head quickly.
All right.
I will give you mine. And also, I don't like sitcoms anymore. Is that a generational thing?
No. So. Sitcoms are bad, right? If they're on like basic TV, right? Like CBS, NBC.
They dominate our childhood, though.
No, they're bad. But like comedy shows are funny, right? Like so, like Always Sunny, Seinfeld, etc. Like those are great shows. But like sitcoms are bad, right?
Well, that's what Seinfeld is a sitcom.
It's the greatest sitcom of all time.
So okay, let me ask you this: we were definitely blessed with the best sitcom era of all time. And I really don't think it's up for a debate because you've got Seinfeld in the late 90s, you have Friends, you have Everybody Loves Raymond, you had Frasier, you had King of Queens, those are just the ones that randomly pop up top of my head. So
I am glad you mentioned King of Queens. I think Kevin James is underrated.
Yeah.
That show was so funny.
it was great. So I used to watch that I used to watch like those shows every single day, and now it's like if I know that I'm not gonna get invested in a character and go through their whole story arc, I don't care. And I don't know if, like, okay, there's guys in the chat that have got to be around 30 years old. Do you feel the same, that if you go and watch a new show that you just don't care about a 30-minute TV show? I'm curious about that. But, okay. So,
All right, Sleeves, what shows, I'm curious, what shows do you have? Because you already went through a couple. Let's hear what you have.
Okay, so my number one unquestioned show that will probably always be my favorite because, one, I remember watching it. It was one of the first shows I ever watched, and I was excited about the weekly. You know, back in the day, there was no Netflix. You had to literally be home at a set specific time, or you were toast because you couldn't go back and watch it. All right. So number one, I'm gonna get flack, and I don't care. I'm gonna say it with pride. My number one favorite TV show of all time is The OC. I think it was perfectly cast.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lost, because I just...
Lost is very good, but it literally... Lost would be up there, and I consider it one of the best shows of all time. Lost got lost in itself. When it introduced so many storylines that were so insane that they literally just forgot about, like, stuff they had talked about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't answer the polar bear. Like, it was so good, but it got so over the top that they couldn't answer a lot of the questions, and that's why I don't consider it to be... It is one of the best of all time, but it's just not one of my best of all time. Okay. The OC was probably the all-time teen drama, as I was a teen, by the way, when I watched it, so relax, that didn't go on too long. It literally only lasted 4 seasons. They killed the main character because she didn't want it to end up being 9 seasons long, and it was perfectly cast by people that weren't, like, other than Peter Gabriel, there was really no one really known on the show, and all of them were just perfectly casted. So I think that's a prerequisite. It will always be my favorite show. I remember where I was watching the finale. Just loved it. And every time my wife watches it, like, once every year, and, like, I get, like, kind of happy just, like, hearing the da-na-na-na-na, like, I don't know, it's just nice. So the other one, I have never had a TV show take over my life. And I mean, I went to work, but I found a way to do all of my work in a day in a span of an hour and a half so that I could sit on my phone and have Netflix up on my desk, because it shut down my life, was Prison Break. And I did not watch that show until it was about 10 years finished. Because I remember when it was out, everyone told me, like, oh man, it's such a great show, you got to watch it. And I was like, I just, nah.
Yeah, that's how I am. I've never watched it.
If you watch the first season of Prison Break, might be one of the best seasons of television that has ever been done. And again, perfectly casted, perfectly directed. The story is insane, and it might go on as a series a little long in the tooth on, like, the 4th season. Because what ends up happening, it's like, I use Prison Break for example. No, I don't want to use Prison Break as an example because you need to watch it. It's like there's a thing they have to, like, achieve, and they achieve it, but then it just has to get bigger. And then by the end of the series, they're, like, taking over a planet. Meanwhile, they were just trying to take over a building in season 1. And just
they were trying to get out of prison. Now they're trying to overturn the United States government.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why, I see people mentioning Breaking Bad. Like, that went for 5 seasons, and that's great. I wish more TV shows were like, hey, we have this story to tell over 3 to 5 years. Once we do this, I get that the cast is making a lot of money. I get that the show's popular. Let's go out on a high note. Let's just end the show.
Exactly. And I don't think that happens anymore because they're like, man, this made a lot of money. Let's just keep going. Because it's so easy, and the ease of access and whatnot. I'll address, like, Breaking Bad. You know what's funny, man? I never want to say Breaking Bad's the best show, because back when Breaking Bad was out and at its hiatus, like at its height, if you like Sons of Anarchy, you, like, couldn't like Breaking Bad. It was it's like console wars. Like, it was the dumbest thing. Cause, like, again, there was no, like, Netflix where you had a set amount of time in your week, and it was like, I'm either watching the OC or I'm watching the Breaking Bad or I'm watching Sons of Anarchy. It was like, there was no choice. Yeah. Like, you had to pick one, and it's like, it just, so I watched Breaking Bad, and I've watched it a couple times. that is another like all timer. Like that's an incredible
Yeah.
show. I think the one thing I can't stand about shows like that though is where the ending is dictated in the pilot of the show. Like, I don't want to ruin Breaking Bad for anyone who hasn't watched it.
Spoiler alert for a show that ended 10 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's on you if you haven't watched.
You know
Breaking.
what though?
Him
There's a
getting
lot of
cancer in
people that
episode
still-
1, you know how it will end, no matter
Yeah.
what. It is
Yeah.
Mike in Suits. Like Suits is another great show that ended because of Meghan Markle deciding she wanted to be a queen. But like that show
What
was
was she
perfectly
thinking?
casted. I know. I mean, like, dude, we had a great show going here. Like that's another show. Like Suits is up there as well, but it ran into the thing where like it went on really long, and again, when you change out the cast a lot, like all the shows that we just described, like so I'll use the OC as an example. Like the core people are in it, and the main people the whole way through, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I mean, you look at what happened with like The Office, where it's like Michael Scott leaves.
I've never seen The
let's
Office.
Introduce. All right, well, they introduced like a bunch of new characters the last 2 seasons. It was terrible, but like, no, I know what you mean. You keep the same cast all 5 to 10 years. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
And
And you have one last show, right?
I was gonna say House of Cards just because that's what started it.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I watched So I was in my house. So I think this was the summertime when we got summer actually. I watched The Wire and then I watched Sopranos back to back. I had never seen them, and I consider myself like a TV like aficionado. I don't know what the word would be, but like I've seen like every TV show possible for some
I
reason.
think the
those
other
are-
word is just loser, but yeah, you
Yeah,
can go with
either one.
aficionado.
I play video games for a living, Keso, so that's kind of like numb to me.
Yeah.
So like I watched them both, and watching The Sopranos, the one thing I noticed, because I did watch a lot of TV back then, but again, it was like Seinfeld, and like it was a different era of TV show. There wasn't a show like that was so good that we're like every show now, an episode is like a movie. It's really well
Yeah.
directed. It's over the top. It's very a lot of stuff involved. Where other shows back then, like if you watch like MASH, it's very simple, like the whole way through, right? Sopranos is
MASH.
like the first like show where it was like a drama at a time in technology when it was just becoming like insane with what they were able to do, and it was just so good. And I think the thing that always blew my mind is that it was like he's a mob boss, but they try to underscore and like make it normal and normalize like him killing people. It's
Yeah.
never this big spectacle. It's just like down to the boat, bang, like and like all right, well. And then, like, he talks about it in therapy and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was just so well done. Like, I think,
Yeah,
and then,
it's a perfect show, and like I know the ending got like a lot of flack for like what it is, but like you can't really end a show like that and everybody's gonna be happy. I kind of like the ending of it.
what's
But
the
we
show
were
out right now
what
that
show?
is, so, like, every about 5 years, a show is on long enough, garners enough interest where the world stops. Like, so, Sopranos is one, because I remember social media, news outlets, anything were just covering the Sopranos finishing. Like, that was it. Like, they were like, everyone was just waiting for that. Game of Thrones would be another example. Breaking Bad would be another one. What's the show right? Like, the Ozarks is almost there.
I don't think there is one though, because it's like Ozark's a big one. But they come out too quickly, right? Like Squid Game, I know that was like more of like a reality, like fake show.
That's a show that's
but
going
that
to
was
ruin with more seasons.
Yeah, and that show was there. And there was like tons of like BuzzFeed, not that I read BuzzFeed, but it's like all these articles, everybody's talking about it in pop culture, and then it's forgotten in a week. And that's like most shows now. Like I can't think of one. Game of Thrones was the last one.
I remember watching the Ozark's first season, and like I said, I would watch shows that aren't popular. And when Ozark first came out, it was not like everyone needed to watch it. It was just like
Yeah.
And I remember watching it and going through all the way up into last season, and be like, man, this is going to be the show. And again, it's ending this season, and they did it in 2 parts to try and milk out as much as possible. I think if it would have gone maybe one more season, potentially like all timer. But if the last 7 episodes, if they hit right, it has like a shot to be like one of the best ever. Someone just said Walking Dead, and that might be the most
No, I'm gonna disagree. So I did watch like the first like 2 seasons
Of the
Walking
Ozark?
Dead. I'm sorry. No, Walking Dead. Somebody
Yeah.
said Walking Dead. That show, how many seasons is it on now? There's people in the show that
Dude.
weren't like, come on now. That show,
I will.
it's gone on way too long.
So the first season was incredible,
It
but
was really good.
so from my understanding, and again, I'm sure there's like nerds in the chat that are like comic book warriors and whatnot. From my understanding, there was a writer strike halfway through, in like the television guild or whatever it was called, and they still had to put the show out. And the people that they used to write it, like literally used storylines from like that were not meant to be for like 3 seasons. Like the blowing up of like the facility they get to in the 6th episode thing was like 2 years down the road. Really changed a lot of things from the beginning, but like the first 3 seasons were really good. And then I remember there was a season, I'll never forget the last season I watched. They walked on a train track the entire season from start to finish, and they ended at this place, big climax. It took an entire season to get there. The conflict was over in one thing. They left this building, and I was like, I'm not investing any more time. This is absolutely ridiculous.
They don't value your time at all.
No, absolutely not. Quicks on Top has a great comment. No sleeves, more like no muscles. I mean, that's scientifically impossible, but welcome to the show.
Well, his next what he said. Dude, people, it's funny how bad the trolls are. Like sometimes,
If
and,
I
like,
wasn't
you
recording like a live show, I would absolutely bury this dude. But that's okay. I had one today, like my first MLB troll. They don't know yet. They don't know.
dude, you can't like. There's certain people you can't troll. You can't troll me. I'm assuming you can't troll you. I don't really care. Like, you can say whatever you want. You can tell me I'm the ugliest person in the world. Here's the thing. You're clicking on my channel. You're watching my channel. This is your channel, actually, because we're doing the live reading. Whatever. But you know what I mean? You can't say anything to me.
No, absolutely.
I'm sure you feel the same way. What are you going to say to me? You're on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. What do you, come get me, bro. No, like,
Yeah, exactly.
and my wife, she wanted to chime in. She said, you suck. So that's tough. All right, chat. Let's open up to the floor. We're going longer today. It's a special episode. We got 10 minutes. Ask a question. We'll pick one out, or I'll ban you. So either one.
Yeah, as we wait here, dude, people are throwing in like, dude, have you watched this show? This show. I've watched most of them.
Yep.
Who's your all-time favorite Sharks and Penguins player? So I'll go for Penguins. Growing up, my first jersey I owned was Jaromir Jagr. So he's an all-timer. Dude, like late 90s Penguins hockey, even like 2000, 2001. Dude, Jagr was a city, you know, like he was just 68 with the mullet there, like carrying the team before Lemieux came back. How could you not love Jagr?
Nine's Patrick Marleau.
And that's reasonable too.
Yep.
Yeah. Country Joe's asking about Vietnamese coffee, which I still haven't tried. How much does Henry eat every day? So we buy this like pig food. It's Missouri brand. It's like Mizzouri, I think. And it's just like these small pellets, pig food, very similar to like dry
Like
dog
bunny food?
I don't know. I've never had a bunny.
I guess
Never had a rabbit. Yeah, so he'll have like 6 to 8 scoops of that a day, like an apple, some strawberries. He just hangs out.
Kanger says, you guys both stink. Want to embarrass Kanger? Dude literally came into my chat and said, hey, when's the live podcast going to be done? Because he was just waiting for it. Couldn't get enough of Coffee and Chel.
Wait, who was that?
Kanger.
Oh, I missed that one. You guys both stink. I know. Dude, Kanger's my underdog this year.
Dude, Kanger did Kanger make it?
Yeah, he qualified this past week.
Oh my god, good for him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
First big name player to get upset in GWC. Can't be CJ or John Wayne since they play. I'm gonna go Gren.
So this would be like someone that you would consider that should make Montreal, or just like a big name that we would be stunned to lose in the first round? What would be your criteria?
Probably just early. A big name player that, you know, gets bounced in the first 1 to 2 rounds.
I'll say Jose.
That's a good one.
And not because I think he will, but it's assumed that he's going to Montreal. And when you have like that mentality, it's like that's usually when it happens. He's like also one of the best in the world, so I'm sure someone will clip this or whatever. Like, Sleeves is talking shit. He thinks you're off. Like, no, it's not. That's not true.
We didn't talk about Carton Arcs yet. I have watched dude. I've randomly went to your stream the last 2 days. It was like late last night. Were you replaying an old Coffee and Chel episode?
That's what I did for sleeping, dude.
Oh, that's what you did for sleeping. Okay, but I was watching the one Carton Arcs video that I've watched before, and I was like, oh, I've watched this before. Dude, good
Fat
for
Man?
those guys. I don't know who it was.
All right, so like I found them on dude. TikTok is amazing for this. Like I have found things that I listen to now by seeing clips. Like one of my favorite podcasts called Mind Pump, and it's three guys that are bodybuilders and professional trainers, own gyms. And one's extremely smart scientifically, and the other two are kind of like bro guys. And I love all of their stuff. Literally just found it by scrolling TikTok. And Carton Arcs, I like found. They've been around, their channel's been on for a while. For anyone that doesn't know what Carton Arcs are, it's literally a guy who dresses up in a bulletproof vest with a big orange like stupid airplane light, and on it says Carton Arcs, and his whole gimmick is he runs around parking lots to find people that are leaving carts beside their car instead of putting it back in the cart corral. And he literally just goes up and he's like, skippity beep beep beep. That's you're leaving your cart there. And the reactions of people, and like that's my favorite part about it, is you see people that are like, instead of just arguing about this guy being extremely weird and telling you to go put your cart back, and he does it in the most polite manner, which really pisses people off because they want a reason to go and like actually get into an altercation. Yeah, it's hilarious. I think that it's absolutely hilarious.
He's needed. He's kind of like the Dark Knight, you know. It's like he's the hero the city needs, not the one it deserves.
Sebi Toosfetch says, no sleeves gets no bitches. My bitch is literally in the chat.
Well, that's rude that you referred to her as that.
I'm just kidding. She's a wonderful lady. Yeah. She has done very well, by the way, dealing with the fact that I have literally... So, like, doing a subathon where you're on stream the entire time is, like, one thing, and that's, like, difficult and absolutely awful for your mental health. Like, it's terrible. I would never recommend doing this. But shout out, my wife is literally just taking care of our dog. They're now best friends, which kind of pisses me off. Like, she sends me pictures of, like, my dog where I sleep in bed, just passed out, and I'm like, that's adorable. That's all I want to do is just cuddle my dog. And they're best friends, and I'm just like, this forgotten guy that shows up once every, like, couple hours. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Then back downstairs to play video games in front of a couple hundred people. But she's been amazing.
Maybe a few hundred, not a couple.
All right. It's more. Yeah, I don't want to flex. I mean, it's gone well. It's gone well.
Yeah,
but no,
dude,
she's
good.
It sucks. Like, you know what I mean? That's the one downfall is I don't get to see my wife very much. So, she also does have COVID. So
I do see that. Yeah.
Yep. She also said I have COVID. I'm a champ. Yeah. Which
when are you guys coming to Pittsburgh?
When are we coming to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I feel like we should all go out.
That's like a weekend thing. We could definitely do that. I would be down. I am probably not going anywhere as a vacation for quite some time again because of how expensive, and we did not get our money's worth out of that. And it's just
you guys can stay in the basement. We can do a live Coffee and Chel with Henry.
Bang!
You guys, there we go.
With like a nice like scotch or something. We should do that, dude. We should do a live Coffee and Chel with our monocles and top hats when we're hot billionaires next year.
Oh, dude. Listen,
like a cigar episode?
An oil tycoon, okay? Slicked back hair, top hat, monocle. I can't wait. Just the cigar smoke. Like, dude, people are going to like move into this house in 20 years and they're going to be like, why are the walls yellow? And it's going to, from the years of cigar smoke, because I'm a hot tycoon.
I can't wait to just make 10 million coins. What do you think is the record? Like, what do you think if you ask someone
like 15 to 20 million? I believe.
You think there's a screenshot of 20 mil?
I would bet money. I'd bet any amount of money from the past since NHL Hut in 11 that somebody has a screenshot of 20 plus million coins.
All right, that's your guys' homework. We have to find who has the most amount of coins ever recorded, and you can't fake it. You can't fake that. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure somebody that spent 3 hours in Photoshop could do that. But I bet there's some legit ones. Because, dude, there used to be, like, the glitches and stuff where you could, like, duplicate things and all that in Hut. So, Paul Balls had one with over... Paul Balls? with over 32 million.
That's so... Man, I could probably you could do that easily in MLB.
I want 1 billion.
How long do you think that would take? Because once you get up to like once you have 5 million coins, every event you could buy every trade. Like once you get to the point, I would say how many coins do you think? 5 million? If every new event comes out, you buy every single tradable Master Set player.
Here's the thing: we could have done it this year because we had the game early, like half a day early. But like then we spent a bunch of money. We could have done that with the whole market, especially for the team builders. So if we do that next year, we can like just buy literally every card on the marketplace and then just jack up the price.
That was Keso. I would no way be taking part in that. I will be canceled on Reddit. I will not take part in that. Cancel Keso.
I'm just throwing that out there.
There's definitely, I guess, but there's no way to get resources enough to do that at the launch of the game.
Dude,
you can set yourself up.
We spent $5,000, right? We opened packs for 24 straight hours, and then
it would take 24 hours because no way to skip.
It would take 24 straight hours, right? We probably have like 3 million coins from like just the random quick sell stuff, and then we just control the market, right? So we keep building it up. Once you get to like 15 million coins, you can control like gold players from like 77 to 82 overall, and just control that, right? And then just keep doubling. And it'd be a full-time job at that point, right?
General says Crystal Pancake. Dude, Crystal Pancake. That's a name I haven't heard of in years. And I don't even know if do you know who that is?
I remember the name because he used to have every single card.
Yeah, he was, that was before all the GWC guys, before it came over. He was like a hut hero before like GWC was a thing. He had 70 million. I think like at a certain way, I think at a certain amount, you could then it becomes easy, which is a lot like real life. Like once you get like you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, right.
It's like your first million's easy. It's the 100 million that comes after, or the 100 million's easy. The first million's hard.
Exactly. Dude, I just, how'd you become a billionaire? I just took just a quick small loan from my dad for 100 million. That's how I turned it to $1 billion.
Dude, so Hazy says, who do you think is winning the cup this year?
Penguins.
Desperately want to see Florida win, or the Leafs. I really do. I want to see my old man. He has been such a diehard Leafs fan his whole life. He was 7 the last time they won a cup. I can't imagine being 60 and only seeing it once and it being like he is what I am towards the Sharks. So I know what that feeling is like, and it scares the hell out of me because the Sharks had a chance to win the cup, and it'll probably be 30 years before they find some Joe Thornton, Marlowe-esque like core again. And seeing what happened to the Cubs, that's my ultimate fear as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Like 100 years. Like, I would like to see the Leafs. I would like to see the Leafs win. All right, 2 more.
Okay, 2 more, and then I'm going to get going because my wife's probably thinking like, it's a long podcast. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Thrash would be the first Hut billionaire. The reason why Thrash would not be the first Hut billionaire is because he uses all of his coins to just make videos on pack openings.
Yes.
He's very smart about that, by the way. So he doesn't take, for anyone that doesn't know, how Thrash has all those packs and opens those packs. He doesn't really spend as much money as you would think. All what he does is he basically, his team that he uses is all untradeable. So if he packs something untradeable, he uses that. And then any pack that he gets or anything else he packs, he sells and then opens up packs with coins, which I would never recommend doing as a viewer. For the love of God, never open up packs with coins. But
somebody has picks to win GWC. I'm going to go Junior Pens.
I will go...
Who do we have?
There's too many people want to make angry here. Such a bad question.
Dude, I like making people angry.
Yeah, I have a really good feeling about you, which annoys the shit out of me, but it'd be good for marketing. So
it'd be great for me. I think I'm gonna win, but I just had to be nice, so I'm going Pens.
You know what's funny? The same person that I think could get knocked out really early based on playstyle and how this game is Josh. It is also the same person that I can totally see winning this game. And because of him being on an older console, I could see him being knocked out in the second round. But I have a weird... I said it last year about Gren, and I was right about that. I have a weird feeling about Josh.
Dude, here's the thing. If everybody keeps getting banned and he doesn't, he has nobody
It's
to
true,
play
man.
against on
The
Xbox
whole
One.
banning we didn't even talk about.
Let's not.
Yeah, that's a mess.
People want us to talk about it. You
We ain't
know
gonna
what?
do
Find
it.
something better to do with your time than
Absolutely.
talking about people getting banned.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? There was hey,
What's the best pack? Would you have something else? Oh, say my name.
it's Keso. What do you mean?
So that's somebody wanted you to say my name because you say it wrong.
I don't say it wrong. Your name is Keso.
It's Keso.
That is not how you spell queso.
Yeah,
Where's-
it is in Filipino. Is that the language that I did
Wait.
it in?
Oh yeah, good.
Huh?
I mean, all right, but we speak English.
Say my name. Say my name.
It's not my fault you spelled your weird name wrong.
Dude, it's my name. I didn't spell it wrong.
If you were to poll people, go up to them on the street and said, "Hey, say my name." 9 out of 10 say Keso.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna put it to a test.
Hey, listen. Here's my final thing before I leave for the week.
Yep.
To the people that listen, the people that are watching live, there is one show recommendation that I have, and I actually mean this with all of my heart. If you haven't watched, I think you should leave on Netflix yet. Turn this subathon off. Stop gifting subs to sleeves, and go watch that show because
I mean, don't do that.
I know. It's a sketch comedy show. I've watched it probably 10 times through, and it's only 2 seasons, and it's the funniest show I've ever seen in my life.
Funnier than Whose Line Is It Anyways?
It's the funniest show ever,
Interesting.
and I will say that. I will go to my grave saying that. So.
All right, fair enough. Well, guys,
Is this
that was
cake? Okay.
Wait,
Okay. No,
what?
that's not that shit. Somebody said no joke. Thought you were gonna say is this cake? It's this really bad game show on Netflix called Is This Cake?
Oh yeah, that's
And-
like on my top thing, and I'm like, no.
Dude, don't watch it.
All right. So
All
Kanger
right,
says
dude,
I
yeah.
say Keso, not Queso. See, he's a man. He gets it.
Yeah.
I trust.
All right,
I
dude.
trust. I trust Kanger. I trust Kanger's ability to say
They're
names.
playing, dude. It's like the Oscars. They're playing the music now. We've been talking too long. We got to wrap it up.
I got someone to come over there to punch you in the face. All right, dude. It has been great. Thank you guys for watching. I'm trying to make sure I don't hit end stream. For anyone that's
Dude, please don't hit that.
I know, and anyone that has been watching live, maybe we do it again sometime live. But this was fun, and for anyone watching the video, thank you for watching. And if you're listening, yeah, make sure you download and give it a like and all that other stuff. All right, guys, have a good one.